Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the June 5th, 2017 Informal County Commission meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Before we get into our business, I just have three people I'd like to recognize. First, Miss Michelle Newell. Michelle, if you would please stand up. Michelle is our new Public Information Officer. It's great to have you as part of the team. She comes to us from County as the Green Certification Manager, Director, whatever, but please help me welcome Michelle to our staff. And also down here on the front row is Lieutenant Colonel Dave Waters. Dave, if you'd stand up. Dave is working in our office as part of the U.S. Chamber Hiring Our Heroes Fellowship Program. Dave is interested in serving in some type of administrative capacity in governments. He's actually been hired to be assistant city manager in, what's the name of the city in Colorado? I can't hear you because of that. Manitou Springs, Colorado. Dave's been in the military 20 years. Dave, we want to thank you for your service. Thank you for your fellowship with Montgomery County. And we just wish you well. He's going to be with us probably for another 30 days. So, Dave, thank you. And lastly, just a congratulations to one of our commissioners, Commissioner Audrey Tooley. Today was named Public Health Program Director for the state of Tennessee. Ms. Tooley, congratulations. Awfully proud of you. Our first item of business are citizens to address the commission. Mr. Clifton Smith has asked to address the commission regarding the CMC Sustainability Report. Clifton, if you'd come forward, please, and if you could, just try to keep your comments to about 3 minutes if you can. We won't hold you exactly to it, but close to it. Good deal. That's what we're shooting for.
You guys should have all received a copy of the Clarksville-Montgomery County Sustainability Report that we've been working on. This report is about 3 years in the making. It first began when Hemlock Semiconductor was in town, and one of their endeavors was to promote and grow the field of sustainability in the county. We've been working hard with a number of different city and county departments. Ultimately, our goal was twofold. Number one, TVA has a grant certification program and a sustainable community certification program that allows counties to apply for certain grants. Our goal was to increase our standing or our certification level with them. This report was one avenue that was holding us back to get the the gold certification. We were currently at silver. So we wanted to be able to do that, but also just to kind of give an overview of where certain city and county departments are in their endeavors for sustainability, things that they've done to cut costs or reach out for community members and things like that. So typically when we look at sustainability, we're talking about a three-pronged approach: people, planet, and profit, or in this case, cost savings. So that report you guys have is a large summary of what each department has done, things individuals can do in their own lives to sort of promote these specific areas, and also included, you should have a little template about how we would like to move forward and ultimately have a comprehensive document, not only from the departments we worked in with city and county, but land use things and more comprehensive setup there. And want to also give a quick mention to Jostens, who printed that good-looking document you guys have for free for us, and also Rossview High School's graphic design team. The students in those classes helped design the entire layout and format of that document. So we had a lot of input from a lot of different people, and all that was on the volunteer basis. So if you guys will peruse through that, if you guys have any questions, we'll be glad to answer those at a later time, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions? Well, we appreciate all the work that you and your committee do. Thank you so much. Next up are our zoning resolutions. Dr. Ripple, you ready to roll on zoning?
Yes, I am, Mayor. Good evening, and good evening, Commissioners.
Our first CZ 10 2017 application in the Industrial Development Board of Montgomery County from M2 to C5. Dr. Ripple.
This is a little over 9 acres. The Industrial Development Board felt that this particular site at the northeast intersection of International Boulevard and Rossview, Hancock, was more appropriate for commercial development than residential development. There is commercial C5 across the street. Access to the site will be via Rossview Road, which is 5-laned here, and they will also have access to International Boulevard, which is 4 lanes with a median. Planning Commission staff and the board recommended your unanimous consideration of this.
Any questions of Dr. Ripple? At this time, we'll go into public hearing to hear any comments related to CZ 10 2017. I would ask anyone that wants to speak in favor of this application or in opposition to please come up and give us your name, your address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We will be timing your comments. When you hear the buzzer, we'll ask you to try to wrap up your comments. Anyone in the audience to speak on behalf of CZ 10 2017?
Good evening, Commission. My name is Mike Evans, Executive Director of the Industrial Development Board, and primarily I would like to be here to answer any questions you might have about this zoning case.
Any questions of Mr. Evans? All right. Thank you, sir. Who? Oh, Commissioner Gannon, I'm sorry.
Has this zoning request come up before us at a previous time, or is this the first time?
No, it has not. When we first purchased all of this property, we zoned it all M2 industrial. But we did, in our restrictive covenants, save the southeast corner as potential developable for other things. If you know, we already have the Agero office building there, and we feel there's only about 30 usable acres left in that southeast corner, and we felt that it would be best use if we go into the commercial use for that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Evans? Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the audience to speak on behalf of CZ 10 2017? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition to CZ 10 2017? Anyone to speak in opposition? The public hearing is now closed on CZ 10 2017. Dr. Ripple, CZ 11 2017, application to Andy Wynn from AG to R1.
This is a request to rezone from agricultural to R1. It is roughly 29 acres. It is located off Memory Lane in the north of the Meadowlands subdivision. The property itself has substantial environmental constraints. Coon Creek bisects the property itself, and there are 15 to 20% slopes on the property. The point to be made now is, even though it's rezoned to R1, there's only septic available, so the lots could only be a minimum of 20,000 square feet. The typical estimate would be around 52 lots, but because of the environmental constraints, the engineer for the developers indicated something in the range of 15 to 17 lots. Dixie B Road is 2,200 feet to the east, so the engineer also indicated that the primary access would be from Memory Lane, and Dixie B would not be used as access to significant lots in the subdivision. We did receive comments from the school board. They noted that this was in the Rossview Middle School, High School region, where they had the capacity is at 95%. They note, and I would note too, that Carmel Elementary would also serve this particular development, and Carmel is around 75% of capacity. There were no other comments from agencies. Billy Ray Suter, who's the engineer for the project, spoke in favor of the project, indicating that it would be 15 to 17 lots. The access would be from Memory Lane. There was one property owner that expressed concerns about traffic on Dixie B. I believe the fact that there will not be access to Dixie B would mitigate that concern. The other concern was that of a property owner that, or a renter that lives on Memory Lane, who was concerned about the additional traffic that would be generated by the 15 to 17 lots. The staff and the Planning Commission recommend your favorable consideration of this case.
Any questions of Dr. Ripple? All right, we will now go into public hearing to hear public comments regarding CZ 11 2017. Just remind the audience of our speaking rules. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of CZ 11 2017?
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Billy Ray Suter, Suter Surveying. Mr. Wynn couldn't be here tonight and asked me if I would come speak in his place.
Mr. Suter, do you mind raising that microphone up just a little bit so we can hear you a little better?
A little better.
I think so.
We've done a preliminary layout on the property. As Mr. Ripple said, there's a pretty good ravine that bisects the property from the southeast to the northwest corner, which really limits us as far as how many single-family homes we can get on it. We've got around 12, 13 lots with a couple acreage tracts across the hollow that we'll probably access one of them from Dixie B and try to get a driveway across the culvert or across the hollow to access the second one. The property is between two pieces of property that are zoned R1. Williamsburg, I believe, is on our north, and then Memory Lane subdivision to our south. Memory Lane is stubbed into the property, and that's really the only feasible access that we've got. But like I said, Mr. Wynn would like to get this rezoned to R1. They're half-acre lots minimum. Some of them are acre and a half toward the end of the cul-de-sac, and I'm just here to answer any questions if y'all may have any.
Any questions of Mr. Suter? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience to speak on behalf of CZ 11 2017? Anyone in the, to speak on behalf? Is there anyone in the audience to speak against or in opposition to CZ 11 2017? Please come forward. Yeah, it's real loud.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Commissioners. My name is Stephanie Bordelon. I'm one of the homeowners in the Meadowland subdivision. Every other homeowner who lives there is also here. We are concerned about it being rezoned from ag to R1. First of all, nobody was really ever notified other than us, me. Our property abuts the property of land. We understand that that's legally all that's required. However, the sign for the meetings and everything, the zoning, was put on Dixie B, and I would just think that that would be put in place where the people who'd be affected most by it would see it. Nobody in our neighborhood saw it. The only reason everybody knew about it was because I brought it up to everybody. We're concerned about the safety. We're concerned about the traffic that it's going to create in our neighborhood. We all purchased our homes because they are on a dead-end street. It is very blatant that it is a dead-end street. There's a cul-de-sac, there's a dead-end sign. We were all basically told that it could never be built on because of the challenges that the property and the topography presents in that ag lot. It was very clear that it was a dead-end road. There are 19 children who live in that neighborhood. They all play in the street. We've moved out of our previous neighborhoods because we didn't want to live on busy roads. Even if you only put 13 houses, at 2 cars a home, you're talking 26 additional vehicles that would be driving through there. We're concerned about it affecting our property value. A house on a dead-end road is going to sell much faster than a house on a busy road. We've invested in this community. We've invested our money and our lives in this neighborhood, and we're not really sure why we're the ones who have to bear the burden of additional traffic and safety concerns for our family when they can simply access it from Dixie B. I understand that will cost more money, but why do we have to lose property value and potential just so that they don't have to spend money on a road? That's kind of just the cost of doing business, in our opinion. He's not out anything yet. Mr. Nguyen is not out anything, but we would be. We're concerned about the wear and tear on our road. When our homeowners association stands up, we're going to be the ones who are responsible for paying for the maintenance of that road and the common areas. And if that neighborhood is not a part of ours, then we're the ones who are footing that bill, and they just kind of get to drive through whenever they want. And clearly, there's not a ton of demand out there right now. There's 50 lots in our subdivision. Only 10 of them have sold so far in the past few years since the neighborhood was stood up. I mean, why are we in such a rush to put homes there? It's not like we're out of places to build. So we would just ask that you would reconsider rezoning that land to preserve our property values and the investments that we have all made in this community.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience to speak in opposition to CZ 11, 2017? Anyone else? All right, we are now, sir? Okay, let me go out of public hearing if I can, Commissioner Nichols. We're now out of public hearing. Commissioner Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Fellow commissioners, I was the only planning commissioner that cast the no vote on this rezoning. And the reason is, if you look at the information provided, the school system is concerned about the Ross View middle and high school area. There's already over 2,800 lots ready for build. We haven't sorted out what we're going to do about expansion of the schools and that whole portion of that. And I cannot support this action because we haven't sorted out what we're going to do with the schools. And we need to take a hard look at what we want to do in the near future. And I just feel that there's nothing wrong with this construction. However, the timing is very bad. And I'm going to recommend that you do not support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Nichols. Any other comments? All right, moving into our other resolutions, our first resolution, 1734, resolution to increase the countywide motor vehicle tax as amended. This is on second vote as required by state statute. Any questions on 1734? Commissioner Riccone.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to let everybody know that next week it's my intention to make a motion that we raise the wheel tax from $15 to $18. I know we were all given plans at different numbers, and I would like everybody, over the week to take a look at the proposal. The $18 wheel tax actually plans and implements a system in place. If we use the $18 instead of the $15, it's going to allow us to save at least $1.4 million, and that's going to go for the design of the next school. And the increase in our revenue is over $400,000. I know we've debated this, and it's not maybe the time to debate it today, but I want everybody to know what I was thinking, and hopefully y'all will support an increase from $15 to $18.
Thank you, Commissioner Riccone. Any other comments on 1734? Resolution 1735, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners amending funds for the classroom addition at Barkers Mill Elementary School. This has been postponed since May. Any questions? Resolution 1736, resolution of Montgomery County Board of Commissioners amending funds for the classroom addition at Minglewood Elementary School, postponed from May as well. Any questions? Resolution 1761, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners amending funds for the classroom addition at Northeast Middle School. Any questions, Commissioners? 1762, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners amending funds for the classroom addition at Northeast High School. Any questions? Resolution 1763, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners approving amendments to the 2016-17 school budget. Any questions? Mr. Grant is here. I know this went before the Budget Committee and was approved. Commissioners, any questions? Basically, their cleanup resolution. All right, resolution 1764, resolution regarding economic impact plan of the Industrial Development Board for Montgomery County, Tennessee. Mike, do you want to speak to that? And I know Mr. Trent is here representing his clients. Mr. Trent, if you'd like to come forward in case there are some questions or any comments that Mike does not. And Chris, right? Chris Miller. How you doing, Chris? Good to see you.
Commissioners, again, thank you for the time. The Industrial Development Board has been working with Kroger and their consultants on this plan to build a new Kroger store out on Tiny Town and Needmore Road intersection. And this is a marketplace Kroger store, which is unlike any Kroger store we currently have in Clarksville. It is projected to be 128,000 square foot, which is quite a bit larger than the typical Kroger store. And I'll let them kind of explain what that concept is, but it's a good investment. It's about $23 million budgeted investment. And in the process, the site that was looked at and secured by them by option, the estimate to develop that site is about $4.7 million, which is about $1.1 million over your typical site development for a project like this. That is the reason that precipitated a request for an economic impact plan to help incentivize this project to move forward. So there's a good basis for that. It is capped. The increment would only be $900,000 or 10 years of payments after the completion of that, whichever comes first. Okay? And also it is projected that it will create 250 to 325 jobs, of which 120 to 180 of those will be full-time equivalent jobs. The others will be not temporary, but part-time. So that's kind of the highlight of it. In the economic impact plan, what has to happen, 3 bodies have to approve that. The Industrial Board typically has been the first one to put it on the table. Once they take action and approve, then it goes both to the city and county governments for your approval. So that is the process, and that is the project. Be glad, with this team up here, we'll be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Trent, do you or Chris want to give just a quick overview of the marketplace concept, maybe the number of employees, that type stuff? Either one of y'all.
Okay, Chris is with Kroger. I'm the attorney. I will mention that the Industrial Development Board has already approved the plan, and so this is coming to you for approval by the county. These are the numbers in the plan. And I think it would be helpful to explain the marketplace store since there's so few of us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chris.
Commissioners, appreciate everybody's time. Chris Miller, I'm with Kroger Real Estate based out of Nashville. We're excited about the opportunity here. We think that this is a concept that's going to resonate well with the entire community. Just a little perspective, the average square foot, if you take the 3 existing locations, here in town are about 60,000 square feet, so you're talking more than double the size of one of our existing locations. I always say that we're not just putting in more milk and Cheerios. There's a lot of amenities that are coming in to a concept like this. What it is more of a one-stop shop. It's a a very warm and inviting shopping experience that has everything from home goods to apparel to a lot of your amenities that you'll see as far as daytime prepared foods, more robust selections of service as it relates to anything from sushi, Starbucks coffee, lunch type offerings. So there's a lot that we put in there, and we do think that it'll draw from the not only northern part of Clarksville, but also the surrounding areas. As far as the jobs that we're sharing, it's a net increase of about 200 to 250 new jobs, 110 to 140 full-time equivalent. They're again about 128,000 square feet, so be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mike, Chris, or Mr. Trent? Commissioner Harper?
I've got to, thank you, Mayor.
That's okay.
You knew it wouldn't last, right? Quick question. How many Kroger stores do we have in the Montgomery County area?
So we've got the 3 existing in the Montgomery County area. And just a little perspective, we've got across the entire state of Tennessee, the marketplace concept, there's only 7 locations compared to well over 100 stores that we have across the state. In Middle Tennessee, there's 2 existing marketplace concepts. There's one down in Thompson Station and another one up in Gallatin.
So I appreciate that information. On behalf of Montgomery County, we greatly appreciate the past investment that you made, and you continue to invest on a daily basis with us. But I'm a little bit confused as to the size of this economic impact plan that we're talking about. Could be up to $900,000, and I'm a little bit confused about that. It actually puts me in a little bit of a box. I consider myself pro-business, but it does help me understand why we should do this.
If I may get into some of the numbers, might be helpful. If you look at the plan, there's a section on financial assistance, and it explains that the current property tax in the area is $32,000 a year. What we will be doing is using the incremental increase in property tax as a result of this development and potentially development of the sites immediately adjacent to it to pay the incentive. Our estimate right now, based on the current dedicated taxes, which is the amount of county and city tax going to debt service, is that there'd be about $108,000, $109,000 a year in incremental increase. So if property tax rates stayed the same, if the assessed value doesn't go up, which it will over a 10-year period, this would take about 9 years to pay back. We have a 10-year cap on it. My expectation is, frankly, that property tax rates do go up, property values tend to go up, so this would probably be paid back sooner. What this accomplishes is it gets additional sales tax, which we estimate about 11.5 million more sales than would be typical. Let me see if I can find the portion we're expecting from out of state. Do you have that handy, Chris? It's about 11.5 million over the first 5 years in additional sales. We expect the sales tax then just to the city and county to be about 1.4 million a year on top of the property taxes that are being used for this incentive, plus the property tax on the personal property in the store or in the area will continue to go to the city and county. So you're going to get well more than half of the total tax increase as a result of the project, and this will help them be able to kick it off because, frankly, the site development costs were too high for them to get it approved otherwise.
I guess my question is more on a philosophy standpoint. From a philosophy standpoint, typically, as a business person, if I would have trouble moving a product, I would typically incent that product to move it. if that makes sense. If I'm selling a widget, I would do that. In an area that doesn't seem to have a lot of problems being developed, seems like it's thriving and it's growing very rapidly, this area that we're talking about. From a philosophy standpoint, I'm trying to understand why I would want to incent in that area to encourage that development.
Well, the philosophy would be that otherwise this particular type of larger, improved, more robust store with greater sales tax, greater property tax, more employees couldn't go here. And that's the basis on which Kroger approved it, was in order to get this approved, they needed to have help of about $900,000 to get it done. Otherwise, they don't have authority to go forward. Okay, sorry, could you hear me?
Got most of it, thank you.
Yep. Do you have any other thoughts on that? No? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Trent, Mr. Miller, or Mr. Evans? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Resolution 1765, resolution to implement flow control as a policy for Bi-County Solid Waste Management System and the established municipal solid waste regional board serving Montgomery, Stewart, Robertson counties in Tennessee. Mr. Graham, I know I tried to elect you, I couldn't.
I don't think anybody's been heard, so we can talk about this for a little while. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Appreciate you having me before you for 1765. 17-655 is really just a reset of a resolution that this commission has already passed. In 2010, this commission, Stewart County Commission, City of Clarksville, and City of Dover all passed flow control resolutions to provide that capability or that authority to the region. At the time, though, that was established under Tennessee Code 68-211-900 series, which really viewed Bi-County and the way we manage solid waste as an authority. With Subtitle D in 1991, that kind of shifted a little bit with the establishment of the SMR Solid Waste Planning Region, which is the region of Stewart, Montgomery, and Robertson County. At that point in time, flow control resolution should have reset as a regional-based flow control piece. This amendment or this resolution before the county commission just asserts to do that, to reestablish flow control under those auspices.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Any questions? Commissioner Gannon.
I don't understand part of the process. We were taking in too much garbage, so we kind of endeavored out there and got some other people to help us, and we had a transfer station built. This flow control, to me, looks like we're kind of turning our back on the people that we were kind of asking us to help us when we had a garbage problem and we were taking in too much garbage. And we were filling up our landfill, and we had all the crisis that occurred. So what is the true purpose of doing this flow control? Is it for that reason?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. This is really just a tool that's given to Bi-County and to the board. As you know, the SMR planning region has to support the state's 10-year solid waste plan. And we do that with our solid waste plan, the SMR regional plan. Without the establishment of the authority of flow control, the region kind of loses control of their product. And that affects the region in a lot of different ways. One, it affects it financially. It gives control of product to the commercial market and really doesn't keep control within the municipalities and Bi-County. That has a lot of impact on operations, and most importantly, has a lot of financial impact on closure and post-closure assurance, which the municipalities hold some responsibility toward. Secondly, there are certain goals and benchmarks within the state's 10-year plan that the SMR region is attested to meet. And control of that product really goes toward the ability to do that and to meet that 10-year goal. It's just a tool given to the board and given to municipalities to make sure that they can properly support the state 10-year plan.
You still got.
So is the other entity in compliance with this? Because it's my understanding that this is probably going to bring up a lawsuit, which is probably not going to be much in favorable on our side.
I can't forecast what will occur on the other side of this. Again, this is a tool for the board to determine what the future of Bi-County is and what it should look like. I'm in constant negotiations with other parties and commercial businesses right now within our region to try to come to resolutions that satisfy them and Bi-County at the same time. But as director of Bi-County, a lot of decisions were made before I got there. Some I agree with, some I don't. All I can do now is take a look at the state of Bi-County today, the tools that I believe Bi-County and these municipalities should have going forward to manage their solid waste plan, to support the state's 10-year plan, and to maintain financial assurance for solid waste disposal in our community. All I can do is look from here forward at that. And I see this as a vital piece of that authority belonging to municipalities here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gannon, I might add too, I don't think this is in any retaliation for anything that any other company has that's done to create a processing facility. If commissioners, if you'll recall back when we were about to run out of airspace, one of our issues was that about 1/3 of our intake was coming from Franklin. And once we realized we had an airspace issue, we immediately diverted that trash to other locations. And I know Mr. Graham is working on maybe possibly getting 100% out of that, and that'll be another conversation another day. But the tonnage that's being diverted, Mr. Graham, you correct me if I'm wrong, the tonnage that's being diverted by this company to their processing plant was tonnage that we could handle with the current airspace situation that we had back then and that we currently have today.
Yes, sir. Very much so.
Yeah. But there was an effort on behalf of this company to try to help us in any way they possibly could as well. So it's not anything that has to do with what this company has done. This is something that I honestly believe that the Bi-County Board thought was in place, and it was not in place. And it had to do when it went to the authority, and the authority never adopted flow control.
Yes, sir. When Subtitle D transpired and we became an SMR region, then that flow control had to be reestablished from a regional perspective.
Right. Commissioner Gannon, did you re-push?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Any other questions of Mr. Graham? All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Graham, I think you probably still got the podium. 1766, resolution to amend Bi-County solid waste disposal fee programs late fees.
Yes, sir. 1766, the user fee. Since I've walked into Bi-County and even prior to my getting there, user fee management is somewhat of a challenge. When it was established and Bi-County took management control of that, I took a look at some of the late fees that were being applied and how Bi-County was managing that and billing customers. And to be honest with you, I looked at the late fees as being exorbitant and penalizing to our customers. You have a $5 a month user fee, which is a tremendous help to Bi-County. It supports our convenience center operations, a lot of our rural collection piece that gives direct impact back to the community. But a $50 late fee per month for a $5 per month bill was just penalizing in nature. I didn't see that as being appropriate in any way, shape, or form. We were amassing a backlog of late fees. We'd go into collection with some we felt were appropriate, and there was almost no return whatsoever because there's not much of an enforcement arm as we manage the user fee program ourselves at Bi-County. It was a little bit different when it was managed under the CEMC and CDE roles. So I took a look at trying to reset the user fee program a little bit. I don't want to reduce fees. I want to keep fees where they are because that revenue goes directly to serving our communities. But the penalty phase of $50 per month was just ridiculous from my perspective. So I presented to the board an option to reduce late fees to $10 per quarter, something a little bit more in line with something that's receivable by the community and supportable by the community. And again, I will try to get word out to the community and advertise the community or educate the community on user fee and what that process does and how that benefits what we do and how they're vital to that. But I don't want a $50 a month late fee to have everybody opening up their building going, oh, there's that Bi-County Solid Waste Management again. And it just puts a negative piece out there that's unnecessary and serves no financial gain for this community of Bi-County. So I wanted to reset that.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Graham.
Yes, sir.
I think you got the next one, too.
Yes, sir.
Resolution 1767, resolution to amend the interlocal agreement for the joint operation and maintenance of solid waste collection and disposal system regarding compensation to meetings.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This is really just, over the past 6 months, Bi-County has been through some challenges in resetting and moving forward. And we've had, obviously, our annual or our monthly board meetings, but we've had to have some special call meetings to address certain particular situations and issues. And there are members of that board that thought compensation was probably in order. So all we did was make a small minor adjustment to compensation for those that may be called not just to standard board meetings, but to call meetings as well. And that's all that was.
Any questions? Mr. Graham, good job. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Resolution 1767, resolution 1768, resolution to amend the budget for renovations at Union School Community Center. Commissioner Arnold Hodges.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm speaking on behalf of this community center. I'm sort of affiliated with it. It's in the district that I represent. These people took an old building. It's a two-room schoolhouse built by the WPA in the 30s. And I think they quit having school there in the early 50s. And they have renovated that thing. It's just amazing to how it looks today. And they've done it all through contributions by having cookouts, yard sales, turkey shoots. And they've came into a spot where they've run upon a need of a new roof and some structure work on the floor. And they don't have the money to do it with. Mayor came down last of April. We was talking about it. So we're bringing it before the commission, try to get a little help. This is a one-time project. It will not come before you again. They're asking for $15,900 to fix the roof and the floor. And I'd greatly appreciate it, and I know they would. I think we have several of them here tonight. I see them sitting over here on this row, and maybe some over here, I don't know, here to represent it. But I would appreciate y'all's support on this. And like I said, it's a one-time project. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Hodges. Any comments? Any questions? Commissioners, Mr. Hodges did mention I was out there in April for Fish Fry, and it's amazing the work that community has done to the old schoolhouse. And it's been a lot of sweat equity and a lot of their own money. They've done a lot to raise their own money to try to get this building back in shape, but the roof and the floor are two tasks that really need to be addressed to keep this facility alive. Any other comments? All right, Resolution 1769, resolution to levy a tax rate in Montgomery County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017. Any questions, comments? That tax rate staying the same. Resolution 17610, resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Montgomery County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017 and ending June 30, 2018, and approving the funding of nonprofit charitable organizations in accordance with TCA 59109. Any questions? Comments? All right, Resolution 17611, resolution to amend the budget of various funds for fiscal year 2017 in certain areas of revenues and expenditures. Jeff, that's the cleanup resolutions. Anything you want to add to that?
Just the only other thing I'll add is down at the bottom of each fund on the cleanup, there's just an adjustment per the auditor's request, adjusting the beginning fund balance for fiscal year 17.
Any questions of Mr. Taylor? Resolution 17612 is a resolution to establish a mandatory retirement age requirement pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated 836-205, to authorize the payment of the supplemental bridge benefit pursuant to Tennessee Code 836-211, and to authorize Group 1 members who have credible service in a Group 1 position covered by such mandatory age retirement to retire on service retirement benefits upon attainment of age 55 with 25 years of credible service pursuant to TCA 836-201A2. Any questions? This is known as basically the Bridge Retirement Program for public safety employees. Resolution 17613, resolution to establish an open records policy as required by the Tennessee state statute. Mr. Harvey, do you want to speak to that at all?
Not unless there are questions.
Any questions of Mr. Harvey regarding 17613? 17614, a resolution to enter into a parking lot agreement and acceptance of deed of land at the corner of Main Street and 3rd Street. This is what's known as the Presbyterian parking lot. Mr. Harvey, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are basically giving that land to the city with a reversionary clause that they can take that property back.
Yes.
The church will still maintain some parking spaces in it, but the parking will be used for the Civic Plaza.
Yes.
Any questions? Under our reports, nominating committee nominations, Commissioner Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, the nominating committee met this evening. We have recommendations for 3 boards in the Airport Authority. I'll begin with the Airport Authority. Charlie Kuhn has been serving an unexpired term and is now eligible to be nominated to serve his first full 5-year term to expire June 2022. Sammy Stewart is nominated to serve another 5-year term to expire in June 2022. The Economic and Community Development Board is the next board. Russell Atkins is nominated to replace Mark Barnett for a 4-year term to expire 2021. The next board is the Health, Education, and Housing Facility Board. They are for a 6-year term. Wallace Crowe is nominated to fill an unexpired term of David Riggins, term to expire June 2021. James Corlew, nominated to replace Nisha Wolf for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. And Cassandra Smalley, nominated to replace Billy Atkins for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. And Cheryl Langford, nominated to replace David Chesney for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. And the last board is also a 6-year term. It's the Industrial Development Board. It's Wallace Crowe, nominated to fill the unexpired term of David Riggins to expire June 2021. James Corlew, nominated to replace Nisha Wolf for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. Cassandra Smalley, nominated to replace Billy Atkins for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. And Cheryl Langford, nominated to replace David Chesney for a 6-year term to expire June 2023. And Mayor, that's the recommendations of the nominating committee.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Evans, would you mind coming to the microphone and explaining the Health, Education, and Housing Facility Board, how it relates to the Industrial Development Board? The nominating committee had some questions on that, and I tried to answer it, but I probably butchered it pretty bad.
Okay. And all I know is when I became the executive director back in 1999, both of these boards, when they appointed one, dual representation on boards. So that must have been done back in the 60s when this was created, and it was probably the wisdom of the county commission at that time to have those 2 boards be made up of the same people. But that's been the case, I know, since 1999. And I can tell you, the Health, Education, Housing Board only is called into order when there is action by some source. wanting action. We used to call it to order every month and then immediately dismiss. And so now, by state law, we have to have an annual meeting. So every June, this board is called to order as a board. And then it's called to order any other month if there is business to take place. And in the 17-plus years I've been doing this, we did a bond issue one time to the Memorial Hospital before it was privatized for some improvements to that hospital. And I think there was several bond issues that went through this board for that purpose in the days. And then there have been 2 or 3 housing projects where companies wanted to come in and revamp. And some of these are being low-income type housing facilities and stuff. And this board was used as a vehicle to issue bonds. And the companies had to secure buyers for the bonds and all that. It's very much like an industrial revenue board bond, but it is for that type of projects. I hope that clears up something.
Well, it answered my question. I butchered it pretty bad when they asked me about it, so thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Nichols. Under county mayor appointments, Judicial Commissioner Michael Williams nominated to serve another one-year term to expire June 2018. Montgomery County Parks Committee, Commissioner John Gannon nominated to replace Commissioner Ed Baggett for a 2-year term to expire June 2019. Grant Shaw nominated to replace David Primsing for a 2-year term to expire June 2019. Commissioner Audrey Tooley nominated to serve another 2-year term to expire June 2019. Under Convention and Visitors Bureau, this is a joint appointment with the City of Clarksville Mayor. Bill Powers appointed to replace Carolyn Pierce for a 3-year term to expire June 2020, and Tom Kane appointed to replace Gino Grubbs for a 3-year term to expire June 2020. Under the Personnel Advisory Committee, these 2 appointments were inadvertently left off the list in May. Commissioner Monroe Gildersleeve appointed to serve another 2-year term to expire 2019, and Aaron Hester, an elected official, appointed to serve another 2-year term to expire 2019. And also a Charter Commission Committee for Consolidated Government that would require approval from the County Commission. Mr. Jay Runyon, Mr. Mark Kelly, Ms. Candy Johnson, Ms. Katie Gamble, Mr. Charlie Faust, Mr. Bob Yates, Ms. Katie Olita, Mr. Don Jenkins, Mr. Carl Wilson, and Mr. John Hunter. And that's the county mayor appointments. Any questions? Under your reports filed, you'll see a list of all the reports. Item number 8 is an item that will require approval of the county commission. Debbie, that information is in their Dropbox, that's correct? That list of department heads' proposed salary increases, that's from a resolution that was back in January of 2013, requiring any increases for department heads' salaries to be approved by the county commission. So we will need your approval on that next Monday night. Any old business? Under announcements, next Monday, June 12th, prior to the formal commission meeting, you're invited to attend a farewell reception for Dr. Worthington beginning at 5:30 in the large conference room across the rotunda here. Any other questions, comments, commissioners? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank y'all.
I talked to him.